Welcome to the channel, where today we dive headfirst into one of the most haunting mysteries in American numismatic history, a tale so strange, so saturated with anomaly, that it has left experts baffled and collectors obsessed for nearly 4 decades, because what if a small mistake made it one of the rarest coins ever struck? What if one overlooked detail, one slip in the darkness of the mint's night shift, spawned not just a curiosity, but a coin cloaked in layers of secrecy, contradiction, and eerie precision gone awry? In 1985, amidst routine operations at the U.S. Mint, a penny, just a humble 1-cent coin bearing Abraham Lincoln's solemn gaze, emerged into circulation with subtle, almost imperceptible irregularities that soon spiraled into a full-blown legend, and what began as a mere whisper among collectors soon morphed into an all-consuming obsession. How did these anomalies, missing initials, ghosted mint marks, inexplicable design shifts, slip past the mint's rigorous inspection protocols, and why do some believe that the coin itself may be a silent relic of a cover-up involving lost die trials, experimental blanks, or unauthorized production runs? This is not merely a story of a flawed coin, it is a labyrinth of metallic whispers and forensic clues etched into copper-plated zinc, a case study in how a single production year can spawn dozens of unexplained variants, coins with doubled ears, distorted memorials, and bizarre, almost spectral impressions on Lincoln's face where die clashes and rotational misalignments hint at chaos behind the closed doors of U.S. mint presses. With each twist in the narrative, we uncover deeper historical contexts, like the switch from bronze to zinc just a few years earlier, the instability of die steel during that era, and the known conflicts between mint officials over press maintenance and die longevity, all of which may have created the perfect storm for anomalies to breed unnoticed. Could it be that a batch of experimental dies intended for internal testing were accidentally released into production, or that a miscommunication between engravers and machinists birthed a generation of coins that deviate ever so slightly, yet undeniably, from what official mint records suggest should exist? And what of the handful of 1985 Lincoln cents found with no mint mark, no designer initials, or worse, initials so faint they seem erased from time, as though the coin itself is fighting to forget its own origin? As coin forums lit up in the early 2000s with reports of specimens that shimmered oddly under magnification, showing hints of ghosted lettering, phantom doubling on the reverse, and raised ridges that defied known minting science, new theories emerged. Did an unlisted die pair briefly enter the press room? Was a private request fulfilled off the books, leading to a micro-run of test strikes never meant for public eyes? And perhaps most disturbing of all, why do former mint employees, when pressed for answers, either deny any anomaly ever occurred or quickly shift the topic, as if sworn to silence by something far more than protocol? Each discovery leads not to clarity but to more questions, such as how multiple 1985 pennies surfaced with design elements suggestive of both Denver and Philadelphia origins, and how some display striking misalignments that would normally result in immediate rejection, yet here they are, turning up decades later in change jars, antique desks, and forgotten drawers. The further we investigate, the more patterns emerge, like the ghosted Liberty impressions beneath the visible ones, the odd bulges near the date, the swirling textures that suggest hub doubling never catalogued officially, and planchet inconsistencies where some coins seem too thin, others suspiciously thick, as though the metal itself was struggling to conform. Dive deeper, and you'll encounter the fringe theories of confidential memos lost in mint archives, of whispered exchanges between engravers about an unauthorized hub transfer, and of clandestine production tests using foreign dies that were quickly shut down and erased from records. These coins, if you can even call them that, carry secrets not only in their features, but in their very survival, because each one still in existence challenges the integrity of historical documentation and calls into question the reliability of official narratives. Every fingerprint, every faint ridge, every microscopic groove tells part of a hidden story that stretches from the design room in Philadelphia to the numismatic auction blocks where whispers still swirl. And as collectors trade blurry photos and magnified scans in late-night forums, the myth only grows. The 1985 Lincoln cent is not a single error, it is a web of anomalies so complex that some believe it might be a cipher, a silent signal left by a disillusioned mint insider desperate to leave their mark. How else do we explain the coins that seem to have traces of past designs, echoes of wheat stalks on the reverse, or impressions of previous years' dies, etched faintly like forgotten ghosts? Why do some collectors report a strange stickiness to the texture, a sense that the coin itself resists classification, refuses to be labeled, defies the rigid taxonomies of known mint varieties? And what of the documented cases of coins with rotated dies so perfectly offset that they align with no known error pattern, as though struck deliberately by a rogue press operator experimenting with configurations. This rabbit hole only deepens as we examine high-resolution analyses showing re-engraved areas near Lincoln's coat, possibly to correct unnoticed die gouges or to hide earlier versions of the design. Still others report coins where the 1985 date appears to shift under angled light, behaving almost like a lenticular image, while the Lincoln Memorial reveals unnatural symmetry or, chillingly, the absence of expected detail. Could these variations be the fingerprint of an abandoned redesign, briefly revived for unknown reasons? Could a batch of trial coins made for international testing, perhaps in collaboration with a foreign mint, have been accidentally distributed on U.S. soil? Even more shocking are the stories from long-time collectors who claim to have acquired coins with unknown mint marks, small, subtle, yet undeniably present, marks that do not align with any official U.S. mint, suggesting either a counterfeit of extreme sophistication or an origin the mint itself would prefer not to explain. All of this leads to the final question that hangs like an unanswered riddle over the world of numismatics: is the 1985 Lincoln penny simply an error-laden product of a chaotic era, or is it something far more intentional? A coin whose existence we were never meant to notice, a cipher cast in copper and zinc, carrying the weight of secrets buried deep within the heart of the mint's most guarded vaults. Keep watching, because the deeper we go, the stranger it gets, and the more certain we become that the mystery of the 1985 Lincoln cent has only just begun to unfold. Next. Today we unravel a modern numismatic mystery so electrifying, so drenched in secrecy and speculative obsession, that it challenges everything we thought we knew about U.S. coin production. Because what if a small mistake made it one of the rarest coins ever struck, a coin that should have been ordinary, yet became a lightning rod for controversy, confusion, and conspiracy? Enter the 2017 P. Lincoln penny. At first glance, just another copper-plated coin stamped with the familiar profile of Abraham Lincoln, but beneath its unassuming exterior lies a swirling storm of anomalies, errors, and inexplicable variations that have stunned collectors and confounded experts since the moment it entered circulation. And with every passing year, the questions only grow louder, darker, more tangled in threads of government oversight and forgotten history. Why, after over 2 centuries of U.S. mint tradition, did the Philadelphia Mint suddenly, without warning or precedent, add a P mint mark to the Lincoln cent for the first time in its existence, an unprecedented move cloaked in silence until the coins had already begun to spread like whispers across the country? Was this a quiet nod to the mint's 225th anniversary, as later claimed, or a smokescreen to hide a deeper anomaly, an experiment in plain sight, a covert trial of dyes, materials, or design adjustments that accidentally birthed one of the most anomalous coin runs in modern memory? As more of these 2017 P cents surfaced, collectors began to report inconsistencies too bizarre to dismiss: ghostly doubling on Lincoln's face, phantom impressions on the memorial's columns, tiny misalignments that suggested improperly seated dies, and strangest of all, a series of coins bearing characteristics never documented in official mint records, such as rotated dies, missing initials, recessed devices, and mint marks positioned so peculiarly they seemed to float outside the accepted design framework, igniting a frenzy in numismatic circles that has only intensified with time. Could it be that hidden among the billions of these coins are a handful born of clandestine die trials, struck under alternate pressures or with experimental planchets never meant for the public eye? Why do some specimens exhibit faint impressions beneath the visible strike, like spectral images from a forgotten design, and how did such features evade detection in the rigorously controlled environment of the Philadelphia Mint? As experts scoured microscopic scans of these coins, disturbing patterns began to emerge, doubling inconsistent with traditional hubbing errors, misaligned mint marks that don't match production logs, and inconsistencies in weight and composition that suggest minute but deliberate tampering with metallic standards. Was there an internal conflict within the mint in 2017, a quiet struggle between traditionalists and innovators that spilled over into production floors, leaving behind physical evidence stamped into coins now lost in circulation? Reports of floating mint marks, shadowed initials, and barely perceptible die clashes only deepen the mystery. Are these the result of degraded dies, or the fingerprints of a rogue engraver working under unofficial directives? Some collectors have theorized that certain 2017 P cents contain hub remnants from abandoned designs, possibly prototypes intended for a future redesign or alternative coinage that was shelved at the last moment but not before its dies were tested. And if that's true, what other hidden messages lie beneath the surface, waiting to be uncovered by a magnifying lens, a flashlight, and a collector's obsessive eye? Theories abound, a rush die swap between shifts, a confidential trial of alloy ratios during the shift toward alternative materials, a printing of coins intended for another program altogether, accidentally released under the guise of a standard penny, and as more of these strange cents are found, the puzzle only deepens. Some have surfaced with letters in Liberty slightly misaligned or blurred, as if the die had slipped mid-strike, while others show evidence of strike-throughs from foreign debris or planchet lamination errors not consistent with other known issues from the year. Who, then, was overseeing quality control in early 2017, and how did so many anomalies make it through undetected, unless, of course, they weren't meant to be detected? Was there a rogue element within the mint, or was this a calculated test of public perception, to see whether such minute inconsistencies could be introduced without detection, a kind of psychological watermark embedded in currency? And what of the reports of 2017 p-cents with no visible mint mark at all, coins that defy the very reason this issue was notable in the first place? Were these early strikes, late strikes, or something else entirely, fragments of a pre-production phase that should have been melted, yet found their way into pockets and purses instead? These aren't just coins, they are artifacts of a moment in time when something slipped through the cracks, or was quietly pushed through the cracks with purpose, and each specimen tells a different story. Some show misaligned obverse suggesting improper collar settings, others bear clash marks so faint they appear as hidden scars, testifying to events in the striking chamber that were never officially documented. Could it be that the 2017 p-cent was used as a secret testbed for automated die alignment systems or new coining pressures? And if so, why are collectors still discovering new varieties today, coins with distorted dates, partially missing rims, or faint doubling in places that don't match any previously logged error types? Some believe a subset of these coins was struck with dies that had been prepared for an abandoned series, while others insist the anomalies are too numerous to be explained by accident, leading to whispers of internal sabotage, covert experimentation, or even a quiet rebellion among engravers seeking to leave a trace of their own legacy in the most circulated coin in American history. Meanwhile, government silence on the full scope of the 2017 p-cents production details has only fueled speculation. Why has there been no comprehensive breakdown of die usage, error classification, or production anomalies released to the public, and what does the mint know that it hasn't disclosed? Collectors report spending months sifting through rolls, finding not just one or two anomalies, but entire subsets that appear to be from mismatched dies, exhibiting doubled ears, missing elements of Lincoln's jacket, and strange flow lines that suggest improper metal movement during striking. And as more and more of these coins are documented, one chilling pattern begins to emerge. The anomalies seem to occur in waves, as though tied to specific press runs or time windows within the year, pointing to something deeply flawed, or deeply intentional, in the production system itself. Could it be that the Mint's own archives contain reports and test results for 2017 dies that will never be made public, because they would confirm that some of these coins were not errors at all, but deliberate tests smuggled into circulation to gauge public detection? And if that's true, then the 2017 P. Lincoln cent may be more than just a modern oddity. It may be a coded relic of a hidden narrative within the U.S. Mint's operations, one involving design experimentation, political secrecy, and collector obsession unlike anything we've seen before. So as you dig through your change jar tonight, ask yourself, what if one of those cents isn't just a coin, but a clue, a ghost left behind from a production event no one was supposed to remember? And what if the truth behind the 2017 P penny lies not in what we see, but in what was meant to be hidden forever? Keep watching, because this rabbit hole only goes deeper, and the story of the 2017 P Lincoln cent is far from over. Last. Today we unlock the secrets of a coin so cloaked in mystery, error, and historical contradiction that its very existence defies logic. What if a small mistake made it one of the rarest coins ever struck? What if the 2002 Lincoln penny, a coin you may have unknowingly held in your hand, holds a secret legacy buried beneath layers of missteps, mechanical ghosts, and whispered theories from the deepest corners of the numismatic world? Born in an unassuming year and intended to be just another chapter in the long saga of America's most minted coin, the 2002 Lincoln cent became the epicenter of fascination not for its design, but for its deviations, anomalies so rare, so staggeringly inconsistent with the Mint standards, that collectors, experts, and even former Mint employees have spent decades puzzling over how this coin came to bear so many contradictions. From the outside, it may appear ordinary, yet within its copper-plated zinc frame lie riddles etched in microscopic detail, doubled die reverses where Lincoln's memorial blurs like an echo from another dimension, misplaced mint marks, some floating, some partially impressed, and others missing entirely, as if erased from time, invisible designer initials, fading in and out under light like vanishing ink, misaligned strikes so dramatic that Lincoln's head brushes the rim as though trying to escape. The coin's cursed metal, planchets warped mid-production, bearing striations like stress marks from a machine under duress, and rare clashes where ghostly features of obverse and reverse die collided, leaving behind spectral impressions that haunt collectors' imaginations. Was it an overlooked test run gone rogue, a die setup accident never logged, or an intentional deviation slipped past quality control in the chaos of early 2000s production surges? In the shadow of the Mint's push to modernize, could it be that control systems failed, or worse, that internal oversight was more fiction than fact? And what of the rumors, collectors reporting uncirculated 2002 cents with reverse features from earlier decades, odd planchet compositions suggesting mixed metal batches, and hidden symbols beneath the columns of the memorial itself? As FOIA requests reveal internal memos warning of undocumented anomalies and rogue production runs, and as retired Mint engineers confess to irregularities never meant to leave the facility, the legend only deepens. Tales emerge from estate sales, flea markets, and forgotten piggy banks, stories of coins with ghost-like features, struck from dies that don't match any known set, carrying mint marks inconsistent with documented production runs, whispering a question: how many escape detection, and how many more lie hidden in drawers and jars across the country? The 2002 Lincoln penny has become more than a minting mystery, it's a case study in obsession, a symbol of the line between human error and historical artifact, and a reminder that sometimes, history hides itself in plain sight. Experts have tried to explain, to trace the roots of each anomaly, only to find the trail vanish in misfiled logs and missing internal records, with one metallurgist reporting the alloy signature of a known rogue specimen matched no known U.S. coinage composition since 1982. Could this imply secret experimentation? A resurfacing of old dies in violation of protocol? Or perhaps something even stranger, a quiet cover-up of a coin struck not just in error, but in defiance of policy? What is clear is that every misaligned rim, every doubled inscription, and every spectral shadow within this seemingly mundane cent pushes us further into a labyrinth where answers only lead to more questions, and where each coin examined pulls us closer to a hidden truth about the Mint's operations in 2002. Collectors speak in hushed tones of the phantom die, rumored to have struck less than a dozen coins before disappearing, never officially catalogued, yet strangely consistent across a small handful of found specimens. Each story is more chilling than the last: a Pennsylvania man who discovered a cent with Lincoln's face visibly distorted as if pressed against a rippling fabric, a California collector who swears his 2002 D penny contains elements of both Denver and Philadelphia mint marks, interwoven like a minting impossibility, and a New Jersey woman who claims her father, a former mint contractor, warned her before his death to never sell the 2002, there's something in it they didn't mean for people to find. The deeper one digs, the more the 2002 Lincoln penny becomes a cipher, a repository for all the fractures and flaws of a minting process strained to its limits, revealing cracks in a system once thought infallible. And still the hunt goes on, every roll of pennies opened, every magnifying glass peering into the micro-world of coinage, carries the hope that another of these enigmatic artifacts might surface, perhaps this time revealing one more clue, one more misaligned numeral, one more ghost image that breaks the silence of what was never supposed to be. Could the 2002 Lincoln cent be the key to unraveling secrets far beyond numismatics, an accidental time capsule of errors too systematic to be coincidence? What if its anomalies weren't mistakes at all, but messages carved into metal by hands long gone, trying to leave behind a trail for those curious enough to look deeper, question more, and never accept the ordinary at face value? Stay with us, because the truth behind this penny is anything but small change.